Hello all, welcome to Data Cyber. Today we are going to see about logistic regression. So before commencing the video, if you not gone through my previous lecture on linear regression, please go through it. And if not subscribed, please subscribe to get upcoming valuable content. So in linear regression, we predicted some value from the independent variable. But if there is a case when we have to predict whether some team win the match or not, or anything whose output is either 0 or 1, there we have to utilize logistic regression. So this is a graphical representation of logistic regression where this graph is called as the sigmoid curve, where from the center left hand side parameters defines the outcome is 0, while from the center right hand side parameter defines the outcome is 1. So equation for this sigmoid curve is y is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus z, where z is w into x plus b, where w is the weight function while b is the intercept. Next, before proceeding for the programming, we have to first recognize how logistic regression works. So first of all, we take a case of our linear regression where this curve defines the linear regression line. Okay, and here we come to know that predicted value at approximately 6.7 something 400, but actual value is what, something 480. So the difference between these two values is called as the error, and the average of this all the errors is called as the cost function. So basically, from the definition of the cost function, we come to recognize that as low as the value of the cost function, we get accurate prediction model. So to find lowest possible cost function, we utilize gradient descent, where we iteratively check the weight at which cost function value is minimum. So basically gradient descent is partial derivative of the cost function. So to find the perfect value of this slope, we first of all utilize gradient descent, then finds the cost function, and from that cost function we finds out our slope. That's the mathematics against linear regression. Similar to linear regression, we have to formulate our gradient descent and cost function. So we know that for the logistic regression, the equation is 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus z. Okay, and the probability of event occurring is what, value of y. Okay, and the probability of event not happening is 1 minus probability of event happening, so 1 minus y. Next, as in linear regression we find out that error. Okay, but here so logarithmic case, we have to find the loss function first. So in logistic regression we find out y occurs when x already occurs. Okay, so first we find out this event, then take a log as it is a logarithmic function. Okay, and this value is nothing but a loss function. Okay, or the error. Next is cost function. So cost function is the average of all the losses. So we simply take average of loss function we calculated earlier. Next, regularization. Here in last step we calculated the cost function, but this cost function creates overfitting. So to minimize that overfitting, we have to add some correction factor. Here we add this correction factor. This is calculated by lasso regression or ridge regression, which we cover in upcoming topic. Next is the gradient descent. So in linear regression, we calculated first cost function and taken its partial derivative for calculating the gradient descent. Similarly, here we take a partial derivative of the cost function. Okay. So first of all, from the gradient descent, we calculate the lowest minimum possible value for the cost function, and from the cost function we calculate the value of the weight and the intercept. So that's how algorithm of logistic regression works. Next, coming to our programming, stages are same as of linear regression. So first of all, we have to import pandas, numpy and matplotlib library. Then we have to import the data. As we here require the probabilistic data, so we replace our earlier data with new data. So here we take a case study of all diseases versus the age. So take a path of that data set, copy, paste it over here, and copy the name of the file. paste it over here. Okay, here we get our data set. Okay, so basically we here develop model. So at particular edge, what is the probability of getting the hard problem? Next, as our data is already clean, so there is no need of data cleaning. So in next step, we would do trend test split. Next, we would visualize this data. Here we replace engine size and CO2 emission first. Copy it. Paste over here. Similarly label age. Then problem copy. Paste it over here. So when we execute it, we get such kind of plot. So here we come to notice from the plot that under age 35 there is very less chances of getting heart disease, while above the age of 35 there are high chances of getting heart disease. So we have to calculate this with the help of logistic regression. Next, creating a logistic regression model. So we know that our sigmoid function equation is y is equal to, or sigma z is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus z, where z is w into x plus b. So we have to find out value of w, that is weight, and the b, that is intercept. So as we here using logistic regression, so replace this linear with the logistic. Next, we will create a training dataset in arrow format. So replace engine size with age and CO2 emission with halt problem. Now we execute it. So here we get two parameters, that is intercept is minus 7.8 while the coefficient is 0.22. Next, we would plot our sigmoid curve. So first of all copy our visualize scatter plot, paste it over here. Next, here we have to plot our sigmoid curve. So for that, so as it is a curve path, we would not utilize our training x, rather we would create a new data set for the x, which is in a equivalent step to get a smooth curve. So x is equal to np dot arrange. What is the starting point? 0.0. What is the end point? So up till 70 something. And what's the step we have to take? 0.1. Okay. Next, we will define our y parameter as y is equal to what? 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus z. So 1 upon 1 plus, for e we utilize np dot exponential raised to what? Minus, what is z? Z is equal to w x plus b. So what is w? It is a coefficient. So what is our coefficient? 0.22. So copy it, paste it over here, into x plus, what is the intercept? Minus 7.8. So copy it, paste it over here. Next, we would plot our curve. So for that, plt dot plot x comma y comma, what is color we prefer? So color is something red. So when we execute it, we will get this sigmoid function. Here from the center, at the left hand side we get the predicted value as 0, while at the right hand side we get the predicted value as 1. Next, evaluation of the model accuracy. So as here we are predicting whether the event occurred or not. So here we are not using R2 square, rather we are using a confusion matrix. So first of all we plot it and then discuss about it. Replace R2 score with confusion matrix. Next we would create our test dataset in array format. So replace engine size with age and CO2 emission with alt underscore problem. Next we would visualize our confusion matrix. So for that C underscore matrix is equal to confusion underscore matrix. What is our actual value? Test y. So copy it, paste it over here. And what is our predicted value? Test underscore y underscore predict. So copy, paste it. Next, for visualization of the confusion matrix in heatmap, we would import Seaborn library. So import Seaborn as SNS, then SNS dot heatmap is equal to, what is our data frame? PD dot data frame confusion matrix. So copy it, paste it over here, and we have to annotate it. For that, annotate true. So when we execute it, we would get this heat map. So what basically this heat map denotes, along the x-axis the value denotes actual test data set, while along the y-axis the heat map denotes predicted data set. So when we predict 1 and actually we are having test data set as 1, so it is called as the true positive. Similarly, when we predict 0 and actually we are having 0, then it is called as the false positive. Similarly, when we predict 1 but actually our value is 0, then it is called as the true negative. Similarly, when we predict 0 but actually it is 1, then it is called as the true negative. So from this heat map we can calculate our accuracy of that model, that is correct prediction upon total prediction. Similarly, precision of the model is true positive upon true positive plus false positive, and recall is what? True positive upon true positive plus false negative. So for getting value for accuracy, precision and recall, we would import matrices from sklearn. So from sklearn import matrices. Then we will have to print accuracy, no? So accuracy replace R2 square with matrices dot accuracy underscore score. Similarly, for precision, we just replace accuracy with precision. So precision replace accuracy with precision. Similarly, for recall, replace precision with recall. So when we execute it, we get accuracy as 0.85, precision as 1 and recall as 0.8. So that's it for today. If you want to download notebook and CSV file, so go through the link in description box. Thank you.